Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And today what we have is a leak breakdown, this kind of new series that I'm going to be doing where whenever there are new Nitro season leaks, I'm going to break down each of the, kind of leaks shared with me. I'm going to give my honest response on all of them, all of my assessment of the cars and all of the cosmetics from stickers to titles, etc. So I'm super excited today because we have, I believe, over 10 different leaks of cars, stickers, and such that we are going to be going over. So I'm very excited for that. But without further ado, let's hop right into our leaks. Alright, so we're going to start off with our stickers, and the first thing that we have is the rocket sticker. At least this is what the file is called. Also, big shout out to Ray for sharing these leaks with me. Super excited about all of these to go over. So firstly we have this rocket sticker, and I think it's pretty normal, pretty basic rocket. It reminds me of one of those emojis that you'll see when you're texting or stuff like that. Pretty straightforward. This is what you'd expect a rocket to look like. I think it'll be a pretty cool sticker to use. I'm trying to think about uses for it on the track. Not really many, I guess, to show that maybe you're going fast on the track, but otherwise not too many uses. But I think it's gonna be a cool one to have in the garage. And yeah, it's a pretty cool sticker overall. Pretty basic in its design. I think this is a chromatic, is that what it's called, where it's or a gradient. It's probably a gradient, right? So basically a gradient with the yellow and then the darker red. That's really cool. You have a gradient right here. It's very gradient oriented. This is a sharper gradient, but we still have a natural progression to lighter colors. And then also in the top and these yellow things. So this is a very gradient and the window. This is a very gradient oriented sticker. I really do like it a lot. I think it'll be cool, especially when it's smaller on the track. So otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. Shout out to the rocket, and if we're gonna rate it, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. Alright, the next file that we're looking at is labeled as a duck hunter. I'm not sure if that pertains to the sticker, considering that it's just a duck. It's probably something with a video game that I'm not completely sure about. I'll do a little bit of research after this, and I'll probably figure out what I'm missing. But otherwise, it's a pretty cool sticker. It's very old school retro. We saw this a lot with the season in general. They're kind of jumping around with different arcades, so you'd see a pretty realistic or futuristic one, and then you'd see an old retro one. So I really do like this duck sticker. I think it's pretty unique in comparison to the other stickers. It'll definitely not have a whole lot of uses, but this is one that I could see myself equipping onto my profile. I think it's a pretty cool one overall. Four basic colors. You had orange, you had your green, you had your white, and then also your black. We do see a little bit of gradient, definitely not as much, but with some of the feet, and then also the beak, and then also on the head, you see a little bit of gradient. Not too much though. Pretty basic, pretty straightforward pixelated colors. But our next sticker that we have is the Smash keyboard sticker. I think this one's a little bit cool in the way that it doesn't really pertain to an arcade as much as the other season themes do. So this one kind of or season cosmetics do. So this one kind of sways away from that general theme, obviously smashing the keyboard. It's a pretty funny one actually, because I could really see it used in a lot of the races, and I also think that the keyboard itself was done pretty well. There was clearly a lot of thought put into the Y's and the H's and the B's, and then the spacebar being split. So overall, this is a pretty cool artistic design. I would see myself using this just because I see it having a lot of applications in the race. Being frustrated, or I guess it's pretty much the main one, but that one's a pretty big one. So otherwise, I think it's a really cool sticker actually. This one might be one of my favorites. Definitely my favorite over the other two that we've seen already. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. This is a pretty solid sticker. Definitely not animated, I don't think. I'm not sure if some of these are animated, but it's pretty. Alright, and our last sticker that I believe we have is this one, the PC Gamer. And when I first looked at it, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't very interested in it. I thought it was kind of basic. I didn't think it was that great of a sticker. I didn't really like the colors. However, if you look kind of into more of the details, I think it has a few cool stuff that you can look at and really appreciate. So firstly, the fact that the P in the PC has a mouse cursor in it to differentiate. I think that's a pretty cool aspect of it, and then also that it's like a little bit of a sign. It's like one of those road signs. I think that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool addition, and also like the fact that when they show the PC, it's at the keyboard, kind of relates to the game. Don't think this would have a huge, race application, nor do I think I'd ever equip it. But overall, I think it's a pretty okay sticker. I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. It has some cool details in it, but this one's just like not for me in general. Moving on to our cars, we have our first car, and this one's animated. It's called the Sweet Tooth, which I think is a pretty cool car. I'm not gonna lie. Just looking at it right now, I think it's definitely like crazier than most cars. Obviously with I think it's the clown on top, and then also the fire, and then it's definitely like a wild card in its theme. It's kind of all over the place, and I do like that. I really like the fangs at the front. I don't know if those are actually fangs, blades, whatever you might call them. They're pretty cool. I think the windshield's pretty cool. It looks like it's a cracked window, or there's something along those lines in there. So it's definitely a pretty cool car. It definitely looks like it's had a lot of effort put into it. You can see that with like the rust and like the polka dots. So overall, it's a pretty cool car. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what this one will be. My guess is that it will either be like the first gold reward, so like the thing that you get when you first you know, uh sign into the season or whatever, or it would be like the last tier. Maybe it's a middle tier. I'm thinking one of our next cars will be a middle tier, and I'll explain why. But yeah, it's overall a pretty cool car. I'm gonna give it a solid. I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Okay, next we have a file called the NYX, and I think this might be my favorite car. This is just crazy in every way. It gives me like a Millennium Falcon vibe, but it's also like even more detailed in my opinion than the Millennium Falcon. It has some crazy lasers or like some kind of thing in the back. Overall, this is a wild car, and I love it. Honestly, this is like probably the coolest one that I think I've seen in this season. So like honestly, the detail, everything about it is just my favorite. The neon, you see like kind of the neon lights going across the middle. That's really sick. The lights are on it are really cool. And it's overall a really cool car. Honestly, this is a 10 out of 10 car. This is probably the best design of the season in my opinion. So yeah, definitely excited to try to get this. All right, our next car is the file name is 1232FQSD. It's a pretty cool car. It's definitely like a little play on the motorcycle. I actually do like it a lot. I think the army kind of vibe with it is pretty cool. It's more like one of those decked out motorcycles. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Has all these kind of crazy engines. I wonder if this one will be animated. I don't think so, but I think it's a cool car to think about animating, especially with like fire in the back. But I suppose you could just attach the trail to it. Overall, I think it's a pretty cool car. Definitely not much too else to say about it. Kind of blandish colors, but I think that's what they were going with here. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely a solid car. All right, so our last car is the 9-bit racer. Not much else to say about this car. I've already kind of like talked about it in previous videos, but it's coming back. This is a car that I think will probably go in the middle of the season for like those old gold members. That's my best guess as to how it happens, but overall, it's a pretty cool car. I'm excited for more people to get this, and if you want me to rate the car again, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. It's obviously a knockoff of the 8-bit racer, but it's still a pretty solid car in itself. So let's hop into we have a few little more leaks. So, or like a little more leaks. So, okay. And last but not least, we have some trails and some titles to go over. Firstly, we have a Lego type trail. I guess it's probably inspired by Legos or those kinds of building blocks in general. That's a pretty sick trail. I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely like a 9 out of 10. I love Lego, those types of blocks, those trails. That's really cool. We also have some kind of character trail. I definitely don't know which language this is from, if it's supposed to be language. My guess is that it's something like, I don't think that's Japanese, but could be. So that's definitely pretty cool trail. I'd have to see it like in action with the animations and stuff to really gouge my point of view on it. But overall, pretty solid. It looks like. Not gonna rate it right now because I don't really know what it'll look like. And then the last thing we have is the cow getting sucked up by the UFO. I think that's a pretty cool trail. I won't lie. I'd probably give this one a. This one would have to get like a 9 out of 10 too. I think that's gonna be creative. That'll be a fun one to like pair with some cars. When the new season does release, I probably will try to do like an episode where I pair different car pairings. You know what I mean? Like with like a trail and a car and a sticker and like a sticker lineup, stuff like that. So anyway, that's pretty much it for today, everyone. Though I'm pretty excited for this new season. Hopefully, I can get racing for this first one and then grind it. But we actually do have two little more leaks, and I'll do that right now. Forgotten that we also have the titles before we get to our two final leaks. The first title is WISD Warrior. Pretty simple, pretty general typing title. It's a pretty cool title. And it's actually it's not a typing title because you use that for gaming, right? Still pretty solid. Second one is Combo Breaker. I actually do like that title a lot. I'll probably use it. Third one is Continue, and then the fourth one is Speedrunner. So obviously very influenced by these arcades and these games. Definitely pretty cool. Speedrunning is a big thing. I know Tendons, I think, is big on speedrunning. I remember he talks about that a little bit. So overall, pretty cool pretty cool titles. And let's hop into our final two leaks. Okay, so our first one is the cover screen, the Nitro Arcade Volume 2. I think it's pretty cool, pretty decent, one in general. Definitely pretty solid, I won't lie. It's cool and it's like neon vibe, pretty similar to the first volume. And our last thing is the little background to that we saw. These are some pretty cool scribbles, especially with like the Nitro logo down there. I think it fits in nicely. So overall, it's a pretty solid background to what our thumbnail was. So overall, I really do. I just said overall twice. Overall, I can't believe I just said that 3 times in a row. Anyway, that's all for today's video, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I really did enjoy doing our first leak breakdown of the new kind of like episode series thing. I'm really excited for this Nitro Arcade Volume 2. I definitely will need to try and finish the first arcade volume thingy. We'll see if that happens, but overall, I said it again, guys. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. I'm just gonna stop recording now to save myself. So thanks so much. Have an amazing day, and peace out.